starting from the beginning when I went on the estrogen, it made a tremendous amount of difference when I first started transitioning. Then after I had my SRS surgery, the hormones as well as my mental state were one. I mean, I was truly, and I excelled real good because I couldn't get a job. Nobody would hire me. So I started my own business. But what I'm just trying to say is all these things manifested. And then when I went off hormones, I lost a lot of the drive, although I was a very motivated person. But sex really didn't mean that much to me. And then when I went on testosterone, it was like fireworks, 4th of July type shit, you know? Insanity, anyway. I mean, some people love insanity, but for me, I didn't like insanity. So being back on the estrogens now, I still have a sex drive, and to me, it's normal, whereas the testosterone was anything but normal. It was just, you know, over the top. So being able to say, going from normal testosterone to estrogens, it was better. Going through after surgery was great. Going that 20 years really didn't make that much difference because I didn't have that drive. And then going on to testosterone was just over the top. And now life is right where it's supposed to be.
That's
Awesome.
For me, when I had my orchiectomy, the big difference, of course, is that you don't take the blockers anymore. But my testosterone levels were exactly the same before and after orchiectomy with the testosterone blockers. I do notice that after SRS, something is changing in my body, and I really welcome it. But I don't know if it's probably the time. I've been now on hormones now almost 5 years, but I don't know. Something is changing. That is definitely.
Wow. So what's the consequences if we were to get our SRS for the bottom surgeries specifically, and then what if we couldn't have access to hormones? What would happen? I've never heard of anything like that. But
I told you what would happen. Your bones all crumble after so many years.
Osteoporosis.
Even for someone that's like me?
You get osteoporosis.
If you're not producing any hormones, your body has got to have hormones.
Yeah. Because, I mean, in any case, if you don't take hormones, because without hormones, we are all the same. We don't produce any hormones anymore. And that is the difference between being cis and between transgender.
You know what I love? The example what you spoke about, how like these things kind of merge, like the way you feel inside with the way your physicality is, and I think that for everyone, it's gonna be different. Like we're all different here on this panel,
Absolutely.
So like you know. So everyone's experience will be different. Hopefully the information we share is going to, guide some people, but I think it's really like self-discovery is what takes place, because like you'll know when you're in the place you're supposed to be. Like in other words, you're taking steps. Even the first time you paint your toenails, I mean that's a step. And all these little steps, and then like you were saying, Bonnie, with taking actual hormones, that's like a big step. But what I found with me is as I evolved and I continued to transition, I was like kind of just feeling it out, feeling myself out, and saying, okay, this feels right, but this doesn't feel right. And I think that's what everyone does on some level. So, we all share our experiences, but I just want to let people know that are watching that it may not be the exact same thing for you. Like, yeah. So just be aware of that. Just be in tune with yourself, with your beingness. Be in tune with that. And that, I think, will help navigate your journey through transition.
Awesome.
Yeah.
It's all uncharted territory. But one thing that is, I want to make a point here that in my case, through my self-discovery and my self-evolution, once I kind of figured out what was going on, to seek professional counseling. to go on hormones or to have like boob surgery, I just couldn't walk into any boob doctor and say I want boobs. I had to have a letter from my therapist stating that I am transgender. Same when you go to your endocrinologist to get your hormones, you have to have a letter from your therapist that you have to show your endocrinologist so you can get your prescription for your hormones. So that's like the first step. Seek counseling, and then you go from there. And then you find a doctor that is familiar with transgender health. If I'm going to a doctor and they don't treat transgender people, I'm like out the back door. I don't need them to tell me to go. So find a doctor that is familiar with transgender medicine and ask around. There's different networks and social media and all that you can find doctors that provide medical services to our community. I wouldn't go to one that's not.
Yeah, but we are very lucky here in South Florida because we've got quite a lot of them. It's not the case everywhere. And 30 years ago, there was almost none. That was a big issue. Even the 90s, there was almost none, which were really specialized. In Switzerland at the time, there used to be one doctor.
I think I would move.
Okay, so even if you're in a remote area,
Sure.
there's Skype and other mediums from which to have FaceTime with a therapist.
These days, yes.
You can mail your blood work to some a lab somewhere. If there's a will, there's a way.
Yeah.
So even if you're in a remote area of the planet, there's a way that you can make it happen. You don't need to buy the bootleg stuff off the street. Those days are
Over. Those days are over.
Done.
That's the thing. And it's so powerful. Thankfully we are living in a time now that you can go on the internet. There's resources. What you talked about with the whole therapy, oh my God. I am a big advocate when it comes to like going to see a therapist. I don't care who you are, whether you're trans, you're heterosexual, whatever you are. I think sitting down with the right therapist can be a really powerful thing because it's like a sounding board. Everyone I think needs to talk things out with people and with someone, I should say. And for me though, it was so funny. I knew that I wanted to be no, let me stop. I knew I wanted to be I wanted to be a girl. And so I went and did all of that. I did the black market, hormones, the pills and the injections. I went and got the black market injections and so that I could have the voluptuous figure that I wanted. But I did all of that, and it was like kind of like just biting the bullet and just like trying to find my way. And then therapy came after that. And when I sit with my therapist now, I'm like, my God, if I had this years ago before I had done everything.
People today do have that.
Yeah.
We just transitioned when.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Whereas people today, they have access, like Jimmy was saying, you can do Skype if you're not in an area. There's so many different.
And that's my point, Bonnie.
If you want it,
Yeah.
you can make it happen.
Yeah.
As for the question, how has my skin changed with hormones? It's become much more flatter. My hair went away. My body hair went more, let's say 99% away. And it feels much more silky and nice. That's how I feel.
Have you ever had to get a laser hair removal?
I had to get electrolysis, but only on my face. I never did any kind of laser hair removal in my body.
I need a recommendation because I'm starting to get some hair on my back. So.
Isn't that funny? It's like if we could only have the hair where we want it on our body, like where we want it to go, and that it doesn't work that way.
Transplant it on my face.
Yeah, I never had really a laser because I have white hair in my face, so it doesn't work with laser. So.
Well, my face. Oh well, I guess we're talking about skin, but my skin on my face in particular got really oily. and the testosterone is making me have acne. I guess like these big mounds that come out, and I have to like really nurture it so it'll go away. That's about it.
And you got a hell of a lot of hair.
And I got a hell of a lot of hair. Yeah. So I take care of it. I make sure it's nice and soft, and if anybody just so happens to run their hands through it, they get to feel, it's like a nice little blanket.
Yeah, it looks. It does look like you take really good care of it. Yeah, you could tell.
I thought you were gonna say it really looks like you take testosterone.
Does it look like I take testosterone?
No, it doesn't. Looks like a normal.
No, I'm a cis man.
And then another question, so that you asked
Sexual orientation?
Sexual orientation. Did it change for any of you? Or wait, that's not a proper question.
Yeah, no, what we're attracted to sexually, right? Yeah.
What was
that is
it
a preference.
before and after transition?
Yeah. For me, I've always liked men. I was a 5-year-old looking at my hot teachers. No, I'm playing.
You gonna get it. You gonna get it.
I was running around in the schoolyard thinking, wow, Mr. Bamber's pretty cute there. But no, I've always
hope he's
liked
listening.
men. Oh God.
It's fun.
Yeah, for me it changed a little bit. Yeah. No comment, no further comment.
So for me, I've always been attracted to women. Like, the story is like just so crazy. Like, I didn't start having sex until I was 18, but I knew while I was in that period of time, like developing as a female at that time, and struggling with my identity, I always knew that I was attracted to women. I would fantasize about it, and I just never acted on it.
But Christian, it was so hilarious, and I hope I can share this.
Yeah.
You were like, well, I always knew I liked women. I remember, girls at that time.
Yeah.
I remember being in like elementary school, and I'm like, I like her. And then you're like trying to hang out with her.
Yeah.
And you're working your way in at her house and everything.
I was
like,
setting up play dates with their mother. I was like, here's my number, give me a call, these are my hours, I'm available, my mom will drive me over. Like, I was setting up everything, so I had it down to a science.
I mean, that is hilarious to me. Like, I could just see you now. Like, like the guy taking over. Like, okay, I like her. Okay, so then you go to the mom.
I did. I went right up to her mom. I was so bold. Like, thinking back on it, like, I was like, wow, I was just so, such a lesbian.
You know what you
but I wasn't.
Yeah.
I was definitely like, I was totally into what I was just into. It was natural for me. And when I started to get, I don't know, I guess I started to get some, I started to get with who I wanted to be with, then I was experiencing and discovering and kind of experimenting, but I was kind of like fulfilling those fantasies that I've always was drawn towards.
Absolutely. Yeah.
When I went on testosterone, I was in the beginning years of it. I was totally like, cisgendered women was the only people that I would date, I would ever even consider. But then I got my surgery, and then I started looking at myself in the mirror, and I was loving who I saw. I was loving how I was feeling, and I started to experiment after some time with guys. I experimented, and I wasn't really attracted to masculinity though. It was feminine guys that I was finding myself attracted to, and I couldn't understand why. I actually started to go through another little identity crisis. Like, I was like, oh my God, like I transitioned, I got like women, I got over that, but what is this new feeling happening to me? I had no idea. I couldn't figure it out. I couldn't pinpoint it. And then I started researching online. I found that testosterone has that effect on some people, and when you start to embrace who you are, then other things start to surface too, and you're like, huh, maybe I haven't explored this avenue yet either. So I guess I just went for it. I've never denied myself something that I internally felt I needed to do. And then when I got introduced into a group in New Jersey, PFLAG, they had transgender women there, and I never could see myself. I never like made the connection, but there was somebody there that said that they were pansexual, and I was like, what the hell's that? Like what the hell is pansexual?
I need to explore this.
Yeah, like I've only heard of like straight, bi, and then gay. Like those are the only ones I ever heard of. So they had to explain it to me. They broke it all down. I was like, whoa, that kind of sounds like something that I can kind of feel inside. When I moved to Florida, I met this beautiful woman, and fell in love with her. You know, the whole like. I love you too, Raji.
I'm just being funny, but no, she's there in the background. I love you, sis.
Yeah, she's got her taser all ready to go.
I know. She's like, all right now, you better watch slow your roll with my man.
Right. So,
yeah,
I'm attracted to hearts, not parts.
Oh, I love that. That is, oh my God, that's so beautiful.
Yeah.
Hearts, not parts.
Yeah.
That is just absolutely gorgeous.
And I
Wow.
found that out
That's so
after some
beautiful.
time. I never would have thought in a million years that.
Hearts, not parts.
But you cannot predetermine who you're gonna be with, and you can't foresee that in the future. But if you just, well, for me, I'm not gonna say you, but I followed my heart and my desires in a healthy manner, in a safe way, and this is what it's led to. So I have the love of my life right over there, and I don't ever deny being pansexual. That's
That's the way you are.
that's what it is.
It's energy. Humans, we're energy. And our society has kind of programmed all of us to be attracted to someone of the opposite sex. That's all part of programming of our civilization, and it happens. It's so common, and it's embedded in our psyche from when we're born. And part of discovering my own self, I've learned to dismiss the programming that I was indoctrinated to when we're all young. And humans we're attracted to energy. Our energy has a certain frequency, a certain aura is a word that people are familiar with. We all have an aura. And when we find somebody that we're on the same frequency or our vibe, the chemistry, some people call it chemistry, where we jive. You know, some people like you meet someone and they come and go, and then you meet somebody and there's something about that person that you got like a good vibe.
Leaves an impression on you.
They're in the same frequency, the same vibe, the same chemistry. And so regardless of what sex that person is or gender, it's the vibe, it's the blending of energy that I think that's where I'm at in my life, in that I'm more attracted to energy than anything, and a really nice way to put that is hearts, not parts.
Like, by the way,
Hearts is that energy. It's like our heart. All of our energy comes from actually our heart. Our heart, our aura is generated. It's not from the head. It's generated from our heart. And so, take time when you meet people. Take time to get to feel them, feel their vibe. Could be the person for you.
Yeah. I think with that note, and talking about attractions, I think we probably will end this tonight's session. We'll have a hell of a lot of things still to talk about, like, for example, transgender health, more in detail. Some of the people here have got incredible experiences. I do want to share them with you. So it's coming next time. Thank you for watching. Bye everybody.
Trans gurus!